You're following an animal path through the underbrush when a change in the ambient noise makes you stop in your tracks and listen. You get the feeling you're not alone. By now you're getting used to the feeling of being watched. We're not going to do this one. We might do that one if we get low on time, but we're going to try to get there organically if we can. I know you're there, Sim. Wait to see what happens. Just leave me alone, Sim. I know you're there, Sim. Thank you for joining me for Nathan Plays Badly, Nathan Streams Badly. I was a teenage Exocolonist. We are in the middle of our 17th year. So, let's see if there's anybody around who has anything they need to say or want to say or whatever. Nope. Doesn't seem like anybody does, unless this does. How are we doing on friendships here? Ew. I guess I need to really work on friendships. Well, this says starting out in the wilderness doesn't make any sense. What are we really fighting anyways? Nature? So when will it be over? When the planet is empty except for humans? This shakes his head. Sounds awful. Does this interest you? Well, I know this does. I think he likes crystal clusters? No, only one friendship. Thank you, Tiff says, clearly unsure how to react. I'll, find something to do with it. I do want to do some friendships with some other people, but let's see where we are on expeditions. Okay, haven't been asked to go to the swamp yet. Looks like I haven't done anything surveying yet. This year. Excuse me. I do need to kind of get my botany up a bit, I think, or biology up a bit. Alright, I got one more space to unlock. Have you seen my delinquent brother? Tang asked, already agitated. He was supposed to appear for his vaccinations before leaving on expeditions again. Dr. Instance mentions me like I am his keeper or some such nonsense. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. I am done minding him. If he wants to cough up flower petals for 3 weeks, or whatever else you mind is out there just waiting to infect us, he's welcome to muck around and find out. I have something for you. Yellow flower. She does like that. I suppose this might be of scientific interest, Tang says, analyzing the flower. She pulls a petal off and looks at it. Yes, I'll have to take a look at this under a microscope. You're more beautiful than any flower. She grimaces. Please don't say that. Turns and walks away, then remembers herself. Thank you for the flower, she adds formally. You spot Tang leaning against the wall outside engineering. She's yawning, rubbing her eyes and staring off into space. She starts as you walk up. Oh, badly. I was just taking a short break. Tired, or yawns are infectious? Join in and yawn too. Yawns are infectious. Did you stay up all night too? She says. I don't even remember when I slept last. It might have been a few days ago. You haven't slept in 2 days? More like 3. She replies, then pauses for another jaw-cracking yawn. But, as I said, I'm tired. Even my enhanced body has limitations. You look at her quizzically. I don't need to sleep as much as other people. It's a genetic she says foggily. You know, a DNA enhancement. I guess sometimes even I forget to do it. I should set myself a reminder. Hello, add to the schedule sleeping nightly 2300 for 3 hours. Her hollow palm emits a tone in response. Tangent nods sleepily. That should do it, she mutters. Her eyes are practically closed. Find her someplace to take a nap. Get her an energy drink, leave her be. Find her someplace to take a nap. Tang follows you obediently to the engineering wing, too tired to protest. You slip into med bay to grab a blanket and peel off a shelf, but by the time you return, Tang's already fallen asleep, curled up in an egg chair in the waiting area. You gently place the blanket over her, and she hums happily before going slack with much needed sleep. You know what? I have some kudos that I can spend. And I've kind of decided that for the most part, so cards have a value down here too. I guess that's probably a level. There's 4 of them that I've seen so far. And I think pretty much, well, except for maybe the wild cards, anything that's a 1 can more or less be gotten rid of. We're going to forget play in this thing. And we're going to forget learning about Earth. Okay, so what am I going to do this week? Or this month? I probably should do expeditions. Survey the ridge is perception and engineering, which I do need some engineering. But I don't really need perception. I'm full on perception. Perception in biology. Perception in animals. Really? Bravery and perception. Let's survey the ridge. Okay, Utopia's got something right off the bat. You report to Expeditions 10th to find not just Utopia, but Security Chief Rhett and Vince as well. Right, okay. So here it comes. I just can't spare any more of my people. Utopia's explaining to them. We've already pulled almost all the foragers, and we're already running scant crews in the ridges as is. There's one person you can spare, Rhett replies, turning to face you. Oh, Badly. How'd you like to transfer into one of my hunting parties? Utopia tells me you're one of the best explorers. We could use someone like you. He indicates Vance. I need someone who can keep up with this one. Vance puffs his chest out proudly. Never kill a living creature. Why do we need to kill them? Sure, I'd love to hunt. Why do we need to kill them? Vance laughs. Because they're killing us. Badly, keep up. He clenches his fist. It's the classic struggle between humanity and nature, he says. Nature's not all flowers and rainbows. On Earth, everything and everyone was trying to kill each other for survival, for food, even just for fun. I can't wait to bag a real trophy, Zeno, he chuckles, framing his hands like a painting on a wall. A painting on the wall. The first 10-point buck on Tuma. I don't want to kill animals for fun. Brett scrolls at Vance. You won't be killing them for fun. You'll be killing them to defend the colony. Vance rolls his eyes. Sure, I'd love to hunt. Brett nods. Good, I'm glad to hear that, he says, and turns to Vance. But first, I need to make sure you know the basics. Vance, bring out the Victory. Vance goes over to a tent and brings back the Victory on a long chain. Its sprightly and bright eyes are, some might even say, cute, and comes up nearly to your waist. Vance looks proud of his duty as monster bearer. Caught this one myself, Rhett tells you. I'm adding it to the training zoo, so don't kill it, but feel free to give it a few pokes. Then tell me what are its weaknesses, its strengths. How would you defeat it in a fight? Okay, analyze the Victory. 6. Oh, that goes to a 9. Let's not do that. That should be a 6. There we go. 26. Pop that up there. I would put this right next to this one, but it's also counted as a yellow card. It's an everything card. So it would lose its value. 39, okay, I only need 17. Out of my head. Just pull that off, put that on, put that on, put that on. Super goal, I'm not going to get 3 stars. I didn't even get 1 star. Plus 2 animals. You studied the creature for a long time. It looks nervous, skittering from side to side and making a clicking noise. You throw a stick at it and it leaps up and grabs it in its mandibles. It angrily tears it in half, then glares at you. You think about your own pet, Bright Eyes. This one is larger and fungus-like. Maybe even closer to the end of the mobile part of their life cycle. You know that one day all Vicries must take root and become nurse trees for the next generation. You rattle off some other facts you've learned from playing with Bright Eyes and Retinoids. Good, Brett says. Let's see if you're as good at hunting these as you are at identifying them. Come join the hunting squad next month and we'll see how you do in the swamps. +1 to animals. Done. I did not actually pay close attention to my stress before I came out here. That could be a problem. There's the boss event, or a boss event. You've been saved a few times from certain doom, or at least discomfort, and it can't have been a coincidence. Something or someone has taken an interest in you. You're being followed. You're beginning to get a feel for this place and its dangers. So the next time you hear the mournful hoot of a passing air squid, you head towards it instead of away. Keep an eye out for anyone watching you from the cliffs. There, just as you think you're going to have to grab its tentacles and fly it like a kite to get your savior to show up, you see a shadowy humanoid figure appear over a nearby ridge. You make eye contact and both freeze. His almond-shaped eyes are wide in his not quite human face, and he slips out of sight again. Track him carefully. Rather than rush after him, you use your tracking skills to carefully follow his path and sneak up on him. You pounce like a manticore, and the two of you tumble to the ground. You pin his arms. Get a good look at his face for the first time. Long, delicate features, the odd tone of the skin, most purple, and his glittering alien eyes. Before he can answer your questions, you jump off him and back away. Wait, this man, you've seen him in your dreams. It feels like you know him. His name is at the forefront of your memory, just out of reach. He brushes dirt from his clothes and stands up tall. Very tall. You have to take another step back to get a good look at him. You catch a glimpse of a pale purple wrist under his tattered black sleeves, delicate like a bird's bone. Like a bird bone. I am a gardener, he purrs, and you're trespassing on my planet. You take in the man before you and are hit, for paying a memory. You know him. His name is. It's nice to meet you again, Sim. Sim smiles at you confused. How do you know my name? It's a long story. I learned it in a dream. Sim nods, like this makes sense to him. He jumps up onto a large rock and crouches, eyeing you thoughtfully. Let's make a deal, he says. He speaks with an odd inflection, putting the wrong stress on things, but the words themselves come easily enough to him. I'm not supposed to talk to you, he says. It's against the rules. But since you caught me, I can grant you one wish. He smiles mischievously. Is this a joke? I wish no more about you. I wish for 1,000 kudos. I wish you'd stop laughing at me. I wish no more about you. He gives you a shy look. In time, badly. I hope. He pauses and his eyes unfocused for a moment. He stares straight ahead, unblinking. Then he slowly stretches like a cat and stands up. Well, this has been fun, but I'm afraid duty calls. He doffs an invisible hat towards you. I'm looking forward to the story of how you came to know my name. He jumps behind the rock and disappears. Literally, he disappears. You search all around and can find no trace of where he might have gone or how. You're struck with the sudden sense of remembering so strong that you have to stop and hold your head. Meeting Sim again? It's just like it was before. Okay, if I have stress left over when I'm done, with the other boss encounter, I might come back to that. I will talk to Sim. I thought I already met Sim, but I guess not. You're following an animal path through the underbrush when a change in the ambient noise makes you stop in your tracks and listen. You get the feeling you're not alone. By now you're getting used to the feeling of being watched. We're not going to do this one. We might do that one if we get low on time, but we're going to try to get there organically if we can. I know you're there, Sim. Wait to see what happens. Just leave me alone, Sim. I know you're there, Sim. You're answered with silence, and you have the fleeting thought that if you're right, you probably sound pretty cool. And if you're not, and you're talking to yourself in the jungle like an idiot, at least no one was around to see. Tall form steps out casually from behind a rock. Why, hello again, says Sim, smiling. He bows to you like a courtier, a gesture that looks perfectly elegant on him, but nonetheless carries a deep sense of still being alien. You take the chance to get a good look at him. He's like a human, but not. Not just genetically enhanced, he's a whole different species. An alien, a gardener, whatever that means. It's a lot to take in. You look, he puts a finger to his chin in an exaggerated expression of contemplation, like a wide-eyed sugar bug. His hair slithers around the side of his head like it's trying to get a better look at you. You find your voice and croak. Why do you keep following me? Nobody believes you exist. Why can't I say this? I haven't told anyone about you. Maybe that's why I can't say this. Why do you keep following me? Because, my sugar bug, you're about to stumble into a nest of young snap bladders. I thought you might need rescuing again. Sure enough, you realize you can hear the meowing up ahead. Pardon me. Even the nestlings can be deadly in numbers. And with that warning, I believe my job here is Sim purrs and turns to leave. Wait! You call out to him, but he disappears into the forest without a trace. You almost walk straight into Sim's feet before you see the man. Watch out, Sim says, from where he's seated on a branch above you. You should be more cautious. It's a dangerous planet. Here, I brought you something. Take a closer look at Sim. Perception 40 or greater. Okay, take a closer look. Spying on a friend. It's only fair that you observe Sim in the same manner that he often observes you, intently, and while hidden behind a tree. You pretend to leave, then double back and watch him from a short distance away. You hope you'll see what he does when you aren't around. Sim looks like a human. If an alien had to draw a human entirely from written descriptions. Too tall, too long, his eyes too black, his whole posture too weirdly attentive. His hair is the most interesting part, so perfectly kept for someone who seems to live in the wilderness. And sometimes you swear it moves in a way that it shouldn't. Like the first time you saw a time-lapse video of a flower turning towards the sun. You watch in silence for nearly 10 minutes, but Sim does absolutely nothing. He tilts his head like he's listening to the wind. Then he leans over to stare at a random patch of grass for far too long. Eventually he turns to stare straight at the spot you're hiding. He purrs. Do you like what you see, Sugarbug? I'm just looking. He tosses his long hair over his shoulder and extends his hand, burying himself for your inspection. It is not a crime to be curious, he says. Why, I find myself very curious about you. You look for feel. Now that he's, you look your feel now that he's offered. You find yourself constantly drawn back to his deep silver eyes and the hypnotic motion of his hair. And with the moments, you find yourself more relaxed. Sim's faint smile fills your vision, blinking out the rest of your senses. Do not be alarmed, he says, his voice sounding like it's coming from the bottom of a well. I have the ability to induce a mild sedative effect in organic creatures. I find it useful in reducing their cortisol levels so that I may tend to them more easily. If you find it soothing, I would be happy to use it on you at your request. If you have simply to ask. So, let's ask him. Take an even closer look at Sim. You spot Sim watching you silently from the trees. When he sees that you've noticed him, he steps into the bath and walks towards you, completely silent. When you open your mouth to greet him, he simply places his fingers against your lip. Shh, he mutters. I am observing you. You really are a fascinating creature. Are all humans like you? Could you help me calm down? Of course, Sim mutters, stepping into your space. His cool hands alight to your cheeks, tilting your head to look into his eyes. For moments, you feel the burdens of your day lift off of your shoulders, like a balloon floating away into the sky. 5 happiness. Your consciousness reasserts itself sometime later, and you find yourself held in Sim's long arms. You blink away the rain fog and pull yourself together, thanking him for the experience. Sim smiles. It was my pleasure, Badly. Stay safe out there. I was hoping for a little more than 5, but okay. Let's observe him more closely. A handful of seed pods clatter to the ground at your feet. You look up. Sim waves his fingers at you. Hello, he says. Imagine meeting you here. Take an even closer look. Look, that was weird. This time, you'll catch Sim doing something weird and alien. You send the survey drone to follow him and watch through your hollow palm as he heads into the forest. He comes to a still pond and crouches by it, staring intently into the water. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he snatches his nail from the depths and bites its head clean off. Okay, +1 perception. Doesn't really help me, but okay. Then he looks up at the drone and gives you a jaunty wave as if he knew it was there all along. Wait, does Sim actually eat raw living animals, or was he just doing it because he knew you were trying to catch him doing something weird? Yes. I'm not entirely sure Sim eats. But if I was asked, I would have to say that Sim's probably a vegetarian, and he was just doing that because he knew you were there. Okay. You're back in the Wormhole Observatory with this. Just poke around. Who knows what you might find? Explore at random. You bravely try all the elevators. Some are broken. One gets stuck for an hour and you think you're going to die in there. Then it chugs to life. Then you find the orrery. It's a beautiful room under one of the smaller pyramids. The light from your hollow palm glitters off the crystals in rainbow colors, dotting the walls and ceilings of familiar constellations. There's one huge crystal plate embedded in the wall, engraved with deep glyphs. Convergent domain writing, yes, and some kind of map. Whoa. And the center is clearly a representation of the wormhole. Lines extend from the wormhole to other points on the map, and many more glyphs you can't read. The crystal is cut up into shards like it could move around, but it's still in dark and probably has been for thousands of years. You run your hands around the panel looking for a way to turn it on. Your hands encounter a slot. Upon further inspection, it seems to match one of the artifacts you picked up in your survey. You slot the glowing pick device into the slot. Crystal panels on the wall come to life. The glyphs on them glow. They start to move in an unnerving, organic way, like melting into water and sliding over the surface, rearranging themselves. It's not just writing. The very surface of the panel rises and lowers, like braille. The glyphs pause and glow the same swirling purple pink as the glowing device, which you realize must be a power source, a convergent domain battery. +1 engineering. That's useful. It's like an orrery for the wormhole. This must be one of the best preserved bits of convergent domain technology you've found yet, and an excellent example of their writing. You're starting to piece together the glyphs of the convergent language. You can recognize the symbol for Vertuma, the wormhole, the converger, the basic verbs like being and going, and one that seems to mean bending or twisting that is used all over the place. It starts to get easier. You think your brief connection to the array must have left some of the converger's language in your subconscious. Listen kudos and +1 engineering. It's all so much to take in and it's getting late. Better bring all your records back and let Congruence and the rest of the archaeology team crunch away at it for a bit. They'll be thrilled. Okay. I still have some stress left, so let's go do that other Thumper event. You find your way blocked by a massive wall. No, a hollow pillar, knocked over and lying on its side in the sand. It's absolutely massive. It stretches to your left and right at least a kilometer in each direction, though at some point it's crumbled enough that you could likely scale over it. Check it out. +2 bonuses to pairs. Okay, well... Okay, well that works. That wasn't entirely what I was going for. Why is wild, unchanging, 8, 9, 3s. Well, this one we keep. +2 to garbage. Oh, okay, this one too. Okay. $34, that's good. Actually, let's put that there. Put this here. Put this here. We'll put that there. And that there. We've got the super goal. Still only 1 star. +2 engineering. 5 kudos, +1 engineering. You find more scraps of convergent domain writing and technology. You document everything to bring back to Utopia. I could probably do another event. It's kind of at random. Flies here are awful. They come out in the heat of the day and buzz around you insistently. They don't bite, but they seem to want something from you. Maybe the water or salt from your sweat? You hope they aren't laying eggs. This calls the most annoying ones rod flies, because they're like long, flexible sticks with a bunch of wings. They swarm in clouds around your face, no matter how hard you try to shoo them away. He says they remind him of Mars. But there are other ones too, like the one that's just a big eyeball with a couple pairs of little wings. They make a loud buzzing sound and are always just out of reach when you try to swat them away. Today, your personal nemesis is one of these eye flies. There was a whole bunch of them earlier, but only one has persisted. It's been following you, staring at you all morning. You and Dis have been batting at it for an hour, but it's a fast dodger. Dis has finally given up and just plods forward. It even lands on his head, but he doesn't care. Swat the fly, or be in and let it be. Swat the fly. One slot becomes value 3. Tell you what, let's throw this wild in there. And unfortunately that's gonna, you know what, let's, yeah. Next round. Okay. 2. That one gets a +1 for 3. That one gets a whole bunch of pluses. You know what? Let's not use that one. We'll use that one. Well, if I use this one, yeah. Only need 14. Let's not do that yet. Man, I don't want anyone that I want set to a 3, but set neighbor this value. Raining balances. Okay. Do that. Why is this -3? Rain squeezes. Says neighbor of this band. Oh. And I'll just throw that one in there and it can set it to that value. That's great. +1 animals. The eye fly is like the size of a human eyeball and made of concentric rings of rainbow hues. Black, yellow, green, blue, and purple. You find yourself staring right back at it. You wonder if the rings have something to do with light reflection. You let it land on your arm. Then you strike. Ha! Got it. Squashed. +1 combat. 10 minutes later, there's a new fly following you. Okay, it says we should head home soon. I could probably squeeze one more event out of it, but I'm going to take the advice and go home soon. Go home. Yes, go home. You're back. You spent the month exploring. Got +1 with this. Perception, don't need it. Engineering, definitely do need it. Done. This year's Vatuna is ushered in with a big military band, horns and drums, supplemented by the recordings of parade music from Earth. Governor Lum strides out of command on a grand red carpet and ascends the stage to raucous applause. Thank you, everyone, he calls out over the din. Look at you! Look at this colony! Finally, truly united. All it took was a common enemy, he declares. I look at you beautiful people, you strong people, you good human people, and I see a fire in your eyes. I see courage in your hearts. I see a colony that's ready to win. I see a colony that's here to stay for 2 months. Do you hear me? He raises his arms and roars. Do you hear me, Vatuna? We humans aren't going to hide anymore. Lum gestures for Security Chief Rhett to join him on stage, then continues. The original fugitive colonist got it wrong. In Roman mythology, Vertumnus was the god of cultivation, not of rampant, chaotic growth. He clenches his hand into a fist. We need to clear the field before we can plow it. Vertuma, won't be safe for human life until the aliens are eradicated. Rhett crosses his arms and nods his agreement. Maybe there's more to this plan than Lum is letting on. Lum descends from the stage and does a receding line of handshakes and fist bumps. In the vacuum left by his presence, Chief Administrator Seek takes the podium and clears their throat. I want to announce that this will be the last year that festival contest will be held. What? The sound of protest rises from the crowd, and near the front, Loon just shrugs theatrically and mouths, "Not my fault." Sweet looks down at him pointedly, then continues, "This war will use our colony resources at a tremendous rate, including the most valuable time." Hey, I got some good news, Lum adds, jumping back up on the stage. That's only really going to knock your socks off. The colony has its first pregnancy. Oh, this one's really going to knock your socks off. The colony has its first pregnancy. The crowd mutters in excitement, and Lum beckons Tammy to join him. Everyone, give a round of applause for aspartame here, Fatuma's first mother. Tammy is beet red all the way to the tips of her ears, but she dutifully does a little twirl so Lum can show her off. Look at her, he exclaims. So vibrant, so healthy, just like our young colony. We're so proud of you, Tammy. Your child is going to join the ranks of the greatest species the universe has ever seen. Lum pumps his fist in the air. Humans, humans, humans. Let me hear you, Fatuma. Wait, Tammy is pregnant? Tammy descends from the stage to a giggle of surprised and excited friends. A gaggle of surprised and excited friends. OMG! Is it really true? Mars asks immediately, taking Tammy by the hand. Cal, you got some slaying to do. Yes, Tammy exclaims like the secret is bursting out of her. I'm finally going to be a mommy, just like Anne. You take a good look at Tammy. You haven't seen a pregnant person in years. Not since you landed, at least. Aren't they supposed to glow? Tammy looks radiant with pride and excitement. Looking more closely, you realize that her dress is starting to curve out around the belly. Every baby born to the colony, even you and your friends, is a complex arrangement of inherited, donated, and altered genes, and sometimes not even related to their parents. If the council let Tammy have a baby, does that mean there will be more soon? Cal runs over from where he's standing with his family and sweeps Tammy up in a big hug, twirling her around. "I'm so proud of you," he exclaims, then rests his hand on her belly. "Sorry, too much spin? You okay, little Popeye?" They look at each other adoringly. As you stand around and marvel at Tammy's news, the adults all start putting away the chairs and setting up for the games and contests. Mars puts her hand to her hips. "So," she says, "what does everyone think about this war on nature?" "I think it's stupid," Cal says immediately. "I know survival is important, but we don't have to kill things to survive here." Mars rolls her eyes. "Duh. Of course you think that," she mutters. "Personally, I think Lum is a total nullhead. He's not that much older than me. What is he, like 24, and everyone's listening to him?" She flips her hair over her shoulder. "They should listen to me instead." Finally, you're all called to participate in the games. The last one, maybe forever. If this war on nature ever ends, you'll probably be an adult. As your friends all separate to their usual games, you realize that this may be the first time that you just get to be kids. Maybe the last time that you just get to be kids. What do you choose? "I don't have enough combat. I don't have enough persuasion." Haven't been really hitting that one. "Don't have enough reasoning." "I can do a bake off. I can do the bake off. I got organization." "Or I can skip the games." "Well, I don't want to skip the games. So let's bake off." "Let's fight loyalty to friendship to Tammy, to friendship to Cal." Join Cal and Tammy in the kitchens. "Hey, Badly," Cal says. "Tammy gives you a little wave. We tried to come up with a better pun than bake-on, but we couldn't. It's too good." This year's theme is pie. You're responsible for forming a delicious flaky crust and a delicate filling. No soggy bottoms. Cal sits up straighter. "Wait! I've got it," he cries. "Let's see who has what it bakes." I get baking. This is a hard challenge. +1 to blues. One slot will turn cards blue. No, we don't want that one. I mean, I guess I could put this one in there. That gives me 22. Let's sort these by color. Okay. +1 for each card not played. That's a 3. We keep it between rounds. $8. And that becomes 11. Let's do it that way. Yep. 35. Let's see here. That's 6. That's 6. I guess I actually want these sorted by number. If I get another 50 kudos, I might get rid of this even though it's a 5. It complicates things when you're trying to use wilds. I guess it's not a big deal when you're trying to use wilds or yellow cards. We'll do that. Oh, hey, I didn't even notice that was a straight. Okay, 3 stars. Cool. +1 kudos, +1 organizing. Bake Off champion. Tammy's pie implodes. All an oven malfunction and looks horrible. She's crushed, but she salvages what she can. And it turns out it tastes great. It tastes so good, in fact, that the judges overlook her presentation. Your pie, on the other hand, comes out looking and tasting great. You clearly have what it bakes. Ha ha ha. Gain status popular, gain a memory, Bake Off champion. I already have that memory, so now there's another one. -50 stress, which is good. Means I don't have to spend some time resting. After the festivities, everyone is supposed to take a few days vacation. You and your friends relax, but the adults move around the colony like ants in a hive, fortifying the walls and preparing for the human offensive against the planet. Mid-dust. Okay. There are many things that I want to do. Talk to Tammy, I guess. Tammy is sweeping the front stoop of the lounge, humming a little song to herself. As you approach, you see her stand up straighter and rub her back. Now that you know, it's clear she's pregnant. You wonder how you didn't catch on before Vatrimalia. It's still mind-blowing that she's going to have a baby. The first child born from someone who was themselves born in space. It's hard to believe she's only 1 year older than you. Little Tammy, who cries when toys break and is scared to leave the walls. She's going to be a mom. Tammy looks up as you approach and smiles. Hello, Badly. It's nice out today, don't you think? She always thinks it's nice out. It's a nice day, even when it's pouring rain. It must be nice to be so cheerful all the time. You look beautiful. She smiles and goes a pretty shade of pink. Thank you, Badly. That's so sweet. She does seem more centered and confident than you've ever known her to be. It radiates off her like a warm, glowing sun. When Lum had her up on stage, embarrassed in front of the whole colony, you kept thinking, wow, Tammy's really a grown-up now. Tammy leans on her broom with a dreamy smile. I thought about it for a long time and talked to Aunt Anne and Dr. Instant, she says. I've always known I wanted children. She giggles in thought. Lots of them. So why not get started now? and and I are going to run the new crèche, so I'll have plenty of help raising them, and the same way I was raised. She adds, I might not be the strongest or smartest person in the colony, but I'm going to be the best mom. I know I can do this. Do you ever want kids badly? One or two, maybe. Yes, lots. We're too young. The world is too dangerous for babies. No, never ever. One or two, maybe. Tammy smiles indulgently. That's nice, Badly. I can't wait to see them in the crèche. Tammy goes back to sweeping the stoop, adding little snippets of lyrics to her made-up song. Cal, it sounds like you are going to be an awfully busy man. So right now, we're popular. Oh, so kudos are up for 3 months. Okay, I was just seeing to make sure that I had this. Okay. I either want. Nope, I didn't mean to click on her. Again with her delinquent brother. Let's apply to the robotics lab. As you enter the robotics lab, watch out! Congruent shouts at you from the room speakers just as another weird little robot of unknown purpose comes scurrying toward you from across the room. It's zigzagging erratically, and it looks like it's trying to make for the door you just opened. Fix the robot, let it escape. Fix the robot. Oh, badly, thank you, Grunt says, wheeling in on her portable screen. I was running diagnostics on the little fellow, and it broke away and made a run for it. I really need somebody to be my hands here, she continues. Everything used to be easier with Hal around. I miss him. Grunt doesn't need to clear her throat, but you get the distinct impression she's simulating it anyways. If you want to come help me in the robotics lab, just come down anytime. Okay. Oh. I am missing something, I guess. Because my biology isn't high enough? But I don't have the ability to do the med lab here. That's not too awful. It's actually not awful at all. We're going to go up here. What does work in the debug give me? Organization and persuasion. Organization and perception. Interesting. This gives me friendship with Mars and Rex. This gives me just friendship with Mars. We're going to do this because we got some stuff to do with the fun time club. You're trying to find Administrator Seek to ask about something and accidentally stumble into a meeting they're having with Governor Lum. You don't catch the topic of the argument, but you manage to piece together that Seek is trying to get Lum to come up with a way to explain something important to the colony. Whatever it is, Lum is dismissive about it. You hear him say that he's not here to hold people's hands, which frustrates Seek. Figure it out, Seek, Lum says. It's your job. Tell Seek you can do it. You wait for Lum to storm off like he usually does, then approach Seek while they're massaging their temples. You offer to help Seek with their problem, whatever it is. Seek sighs. The governor isn't used to how things work around here, they admit slowly. They clear their throat and look around to make sure he isn't still nearby, nor does he have any real experience at running anything besides a squad of gun-toting soldiers. He doesn't appreciate the work of civil servants like you and me, Seek continues. He thinks the person with the biggest gun and the nicest smile should be allowed to make decisions, with no regard for the difficulties of actually making those decisions reality. They sigh. Perhaps it needs a more deft touch. I already have Mars working on softening him through social media, though she's quite rebellious. I could use someone I can trust in the position. Get to work. Unlock the administration in command. +1 to mental cards. Bonus +3 bonus to strengths. Great. Strengths are like the hardest thing to arrange because cards have a tendency to change value once you get them up there. One for each gym. Actually, let's put this one in first. That gives it 5. Five. Three, 4. What's this? Oh, from Dad's Love. +1, 2, and from other cards. Okay, let's 5, 6. Okay, that works. Didn't need the straight. Good thing too. I don't think I would have been able to make the straight. You're victorious. 1 star. +4 organizing, +2 persuasion, 16 kudos, 8 stress. 1 marzipan. Okay, let's talk to Mars. You approach Mars, who's deep in negotiations of some kind of tangent. When Tang sees you over Mars' shoulder, she points and says your name. Thank you, forces of chance and chaos, Tang mutters. Oh, thank you, forces of chance and chaos, Tang mutters. Slipping Mars away as Mars' attention turns to you. She's your problem now, Badly. Mars pretends not to hear her. Badly, she exclaims. You're looking hideous today, darling. Luckily, I'm doing makeovers and fashion advice free of charge. What's the catch? I'm not your doll. All right, that's a thing we're doing now. What's the catch? Mars smiles. No catch, she says smoothly. You just have to try on my new line of clothing and give me your honest opinion. Come with me, Mars says, directing you to her room. I've been working on these designs for weeks. They're fresh off the printer, and I'm dying to see how they look on a regular person like yourself. Mars's room is a riot of sparkling fabric. My first fashion line is all about dressing for the seasons in Vertuma, Mars says as she ushers you inside. Yellow and angular for dust, airy and pink for pollen, stuff like that. If we ever make it back to Earth, I want to be known as the visionary who brought Vertuma home. It's a great idea. People on Earth won't care about Vertuma. People on Earth won't care about Vertuma. Mars considers this. You're probably right. Why wallow in how boring this world is? Still, it's not bad to start with what you know, she concludes. There's no reason we can't prototype and irritate. It's not irritate. Iterate. Mars indicates the piles of outfits on her bed. Well, what are you waiting for? Chop chop. You try on outfit after outfit, letting Mars scrutinize your shell house and bearings. She seems genuinely focused on how the clothing performs. Finally, you finish trying on all the outfits. I think the glow jumpsuit is the winner. Go ahead and put it back on, Mars instructs. Then we'll do your hair and makeup. I'm a man, Mars. I don't wear makeup. You sit on our bed and Mars pulls out a box of cosmetics. A day look, she asks. Or something more bold for nighttime. No makeup, thanks. Mars pouts. It's just a little color, but fine, have it your way. Mars pulls out a bottle of bright blue nail polish. One more thing, and the look is complete. Mars paints your nails, humming tunelessly while she works. And voila, she says when she's done. This is fun. I like dressing up for you. I'm never doing this again. Let's do a little flirting. Why not? Mars doesn't miss your tone and smiles as she caps the bottle of nail polish. Is that so? She says, voice warming and teasing. What else would you do for me? She bursts out laughing before you can respond. Don't even go there. Your nails are wet. If you mess them up, I'm gonna scream. Okay. Let's see if we can give Dis a present. Oh, Dis has got a speech bubble. You and Dis are sitting on a tailgate of one of the exploration vehicles, shelling bobber seeds with your teeth and spitting the hard bits on the ground. Now and then one of you points out something funny a passing surveyor does, or spot something under the mush trees. Excuse me. This is the easiest way to talk to Dis, by not talking at all. Dis has been like this. Being isolated from the other kids has made him thoughtful. Out of everyone you think Dis might understand. Out of everyone you think Dis might understand about Sim and be able to keep the secret. If you tell him, trust him. +2 friendship. You tell Dis that you saw something interesting when you were out on expedition. Dis perks up immediately, turning to look at you. Yeah, yes, what? Met an alien disc. His jaw drops and his face goes in interesting color. You're worried for a moment that he's going to be upset that you with you for teasing him, but no way, just hiss. Yeah, but I met an alien too, badly. What was yours like? Like us, but alien. He describes him, his long dark hair, his big eyes, his faintly purple skin. The way he never seems to answer any of your questions, just stares at your face. Wait, you met Sim too? You nod and Dis's hands fly to his hair. He said he met another human boy, but he didn't say who it was. It was you the whole time. He made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone else, Dis says earnestly. It's a weird expression on him. If the Helios found out about the gardeners, they'd probably just try and kill them like they kill everything else. So we can talk about Sim, but we have to keep it a secret. Why hide him? So the Western Ridge ruins. Okay, this will be our secret. So the Western Ridge ruins. Yeah, I'm sure the gardeners are related to those ruins somehow. He shakes his head. I asked him if the gardeners built what used to be there. He says the ruins built the gardeners. He always speaks in riddles. Why hide him? Just looks at you like you're grown a second head. I don't know about you, he mutters, but I'm done with people making fun of me for knowing the truth. He shakes his head and looks out into the forest. I want to protect Sim, he says quietly. He's one of the only people who ever tried to know the real me. You know, it's different for you. People like you badly. Rubs his cheek. Sim is my everything. If he needs me to keep him secret, I will. Okay, this is our secret. Dis nods, looking serious. Good, he says simply. Then repeats, good. You go back to shelling bobber seeds in silence, watching the colony go about its business. So, Dis, can I give you... No, it's too soon. It's once a month, I believe, so I need to wait another. Then I need to wait till here because the end of what is his birthday. Okay. We are going to try our new job in command. Assist the governor. 3 persuasion, 3 organization, friendship with Mars, just with Mars. That's interesting. Kudos, stress. One of your first tasks as an administrator is to format the monthly report to Earth. It's full of boring, carefully formatted data. Seek is very specific about it. And makes you redo it 3 times until you get it right. You drop off the report at the comms desk and realize you've yet been told how to process any reply from her. You wonder if they reply at all. Ask Seek, asking an adult, ask Lum, asking an adult, investigate on your own. Yeah, investigation. I think I have both these cards. This one needs organization 50. I'm going to say this one's the best one. Ooh, that gave me some rebellion. Gain a memory investigation. You sneakily read through the administrative HoloNet files you're allowed to access now. There's a huge backlog of messages, all dating from during the 20 years the Stratospheric was in space. You scroll through the preview text quickly, not wanting to draw too much attention to yourself. The majority of the messages are updates from the colony's allies in the Vertuma group, but every so often there's a message ordering the ship to cease and return to Earth, putting an end to their illegal immigration and return their stolen property. If the Vertuma group weren't outlaws on Earth before, stealing congruence and the Gentech definitely did the trick. These messages are angry. There are no messages from any time after the Stratospheric landed on Vertuma. Maybe nothing can get through the wormhole. Maybe the communication system was damaged. And it wasn't until the Heliopulse landed that communications could be restored. Or maybe both planets were just shouting into the void. It's impossible to say. +3 bonus to pairs. These two both do gem cards. That's a 4, that's a pair, but that's not gonna last. That's a 5 and a 6. Okay, this gave to the gem card. This one got 1 from the gem card. Which made that 6 and 11. But that's a win. Oh, only 2 stars though. Persuasion, organization. Okay, early wet. We're gonna... No. I got 2 different things I want to do here. I'm not sure I can do both of them. But we're going to do repair robots. You're honestly pumped for your first day in the robotics lab. There wasn't enough room on the Strato for proper labs, so for most of your life you've been warned that the bots the colony relies on, like the watering bots and the hover lifts, will eventually break down for good. With a fully functional robotics lab, you should be able to keep those robots active for a lot longer. Plus, there's all sorts of unused bots in here. You look around and wonder at the wide array of chassis and shells. Maybe one day you'll even be able to create new bots of your own. You can't wait to show off what you can do. Congruence is so relieved to have an assistant. Since Hal died, well, Dr. Instance is too busy to help, she says as you're setting up. Tangent sometimes lends a hand, literally, but she seems to be more interested in her own projects. The chief engineer seems to think they're a lost cause, that we should just recycle them. Congruence opines. Hal would never have thought they were trash. So what are you excited to work on, Badly? I just like fixing things. Programming is super cool. I want to build something massive. Programming is super cool. So in engineering, isn't it congruence grease? You can do anything in the digital world. Translating it into the physical world is another challenge. But I promise you're going to learn so much about bot code. Congruence goes quiet, then adds, go ahead and look around if you have any questions. Let me know. You spend the day getting to know your way around the robotics lab, meeting all the bots you're going to be working with. These broken, forgotten bots just need a little TLC. Get to work, repairing robots. One of the blue cards, random card locked in the slot. Alright, there could be a whole lot worse cards locked in this slot. +1 for each gem on another card, and it's locked in the last slot, so it already gets +2 for this, and +1 for the mental cards get +1. So there's no gems here. Well, there's one gem. -3 to cards with higher value. I'm not going to have a card with a higher value. That wins it. You worked well this month. 6 engineering, 2 creativity, 34 kudos, 34 kudos. Wow. 8 stress, and friendship with Nami Nami. Okay, mid-wet. I think I want to continue on with the fixed robots, at least for the moment. I've got 2 years, so I'm not extremely rushed about this. I actually feel more rushed about the fact that I need to get some better friendship with Dis. I think I got a year to do that too. So more repair robots. You're headed back to your quarters at the end of the day. As you pass by the medbay, you hear shouts and scrambling from within. Several surveyors come back with serious wounds. Not the usual broken limbs and sunstroke. One of them was holding a towel to her own leg, staunching blood flow from massive animal bite. Another looks nearly blinded from acid. It looks like chaos in there. Open the medbay. +1 biology, +8 stress. Gosh, it's a good thing you're here. You were here. Triaging and getting the most badly wounded into the med beds is difficult, and the others need traditional medical attention while they wait. It's hectic, stressful work, but you're able to keep your head and provide assistance. +5 kudos. Good work in there, Badly, Chief Engineer Instant says. You know, with how the colony is growing, I could use an assistant nurse here. Someone I can trust to take care of things while I'm working in the lab. Come back next month and give me a hand if you're interested. Okay, get to work. Repairing robots. +1 mil and +5 to all mental blue flushes. Well then, let's do this. Well, we'll put Tammy in there. She only increases yellow cards. Super go. But only 2 stars. Alright, is the last month of wet. I got a new perk. New cards in the depot. Huh. Okay, good to know. Tangent. I owe almost everything I am to Chief Engineer Instance, Tangent says. She sees me for who I really am. Tang runs her fingertips over her jaw. Without her, I would probably be as sad and as isolated as my brother, or as broken as my mother was. I owe her my life. I would do anything she asked me. What do we need? Reasoning 40. Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. Here, I have something for you. Okay. Medicinal roots. +4 finch. Seems you remember my birthday, Tank says. Taking the roots and turning them over in her hands. Her lip curls in distaste at the dirt that still clings to them. How thoughtful of you. Oh, I didn't give Mars a birthday present. I have much to do today, but I'll set these roots aside to analyze later. She turns and walks away, then remembers herself. Thank you, she adds, almost as an afterthought. What do I have in my collectibles? I have 1 cake. Find that giving cake to Tammy isn't one of her favorite things, interestingly enough. Of course, I have the most crystal clusters. and yellow flowers. Probably should have given Tang the yellow flower. Let's cheat. Medicinal roots. I thought he liked other things as well, like the crystal clusters, but we'll give him a medicinal root. A war on alien life, this says, shaking his head. Am I the only person in this whole stupid colony who realizes that we are literally the aliens here? Bravery 80 or greater. Yeah. We're not there yet either. Does this interest you? For friendship. He plucks the roots for a bit, but then his shoulders slump. Did you give me this because it's my birthday? He asked. I actually hate it when people make a big deal about my birthday. It's, look, maybe you should just go do something nice for Tang. She actually likes the attention. Already did, dude. You leave the front gates to see just talking to one of the senior surveyors. He's listening intently to their instructions, and the surveyor hands him a satchel of instruments and claps him on the shoulder before walking away. This turns to you. Hey, Badly, he says. He hikes the satchel on his shoulder and gives you a shy smile. It's still kind of weird to be allowed to be outside the walls. Remember when we used to sneak out? What's the weirdest thing you've seen? Why do you like exploring? Leave him alone to do his work. This secret 2. Remember when we used to sneak out? His eyes crinkle at the corners. It was so easy to avoid Chief Surveyor Tolan. He says swiftly, he ducks his head. Too bad he's dead. He was just really nice to me. I'll just leave him to his work. This looks pretty busy, so you say goodbye and let him go back to his work. You'll have to let him keep some of his secrets for now. Okay, I guess we should probably do one hunt in the swamps. Animals, combat. Interesting. I've apparently done all the boss events in the Ridge. 12 events remaining. Events respawning quiet, but nothing mentioning boss events. I don't remember. Has Tang asked me to get her a hot buy yet? Maybe not. That might be in year 18. You know what? No. I'm almost completely stressed out. I will have going on an expedition we'll have to wait. Biology and empathy. 3 biology. Where are we on biology? 63. You know what? Let's do it. You report for your first shift as Dr. Instance's nursing assistant. Instance was never supposed to be the literal doctor of everyone in the colony. All the colony's medical needs were supposed to be covered by the medbeds, and then eventually with trained medical professionals from your generation. With the growing number of the wounded and sick, it's pulling Instance attentions away from her actual work in the lab, hence why she needs the help. I'm a doctor, not a physician. She means that it, as in she's a PhD, not a MD. Vincent grumbles as she swipes through her hollow palm to give you access to the medbay system. I can study the local xenofauna so it stops killing us, or I can treat burns and upset tummies. I can't do both. There, she says, as the haptics in your hollow palm pulse. You should have access. Now, don't bother me for anything less than a cranial bleed. It's a medbed, not a jar of leeches. Just follow the instructions and push the right buttons. You need something as congruence. Congruence beams at you from her hollow monitor. Can you handle that? I can handle anything. Of course, that's free. If it's documented, I'll figure it out. I wish I had more training first. I can handle anything. That's the spirit, Congruence chirps. It's you and me, Badly. High five. Oh, sorry. That's Congruence. That's the spirit, Congruence chirps. It's you and me, Badly. High five. -5 stress, +1 bravery. You gently bump Congruence's panel with your open palm, and she laughs. There are no patients today, so you're going to brush up on your first aid training. Every colonist gets first aid training starting in their early teens. Lungs gotta breathe, heart's gotta beat, blood should stay inside the body. Check. You run through the quiz scenarios with Congruence for a whole week. CPR, elevate and put pressure on wounds, wrap broken bones, flush ice with water, leave foreign objects in, and be real careful with neck injuries. Fun fact, Congruence informs you. In the field, your hollow palm can discharge its batteries all at once as a makeshift defibrillator. First aid is important, but the goal is just to get the person stable long enough to bring them here to a medbed. That's where you and Dr. Instance will take over. You'll be fine. It might only be a matter of life or death, no biggie. Get to work. +1 to mental, +3 bonuses to pairs. Card with a gem, just to put it over the top. Okay. Late Wet moves over into Glow. New month. Got the biology perk. More collectibles. Collectibles respawn after, and more slots are filled. Respawn faster, and more slots are filled. So especially now in Glow, they're easy to spot. They're easy to spot with my perks because they, well, glow. let's take a moment to take a look around. There's one. Crystal cluster. Let's see, can we do, yeah, sneak out and explore below. We could do that. We're not going to do that. Mostly because I'm stressed out. No disaround. Oh, there he is. It's like an entirely different planet in Glow. Just says, smiling softly out into the illuminated wilderness. My favorite season, full of secrets and dangers. Does this interest you? Does this interest you? Just one. Thank you. Just says, clearly unsure of how to react. I'll find something to do with it. I probably could get one more something out of this and then rest next week. Or I could, because I'm trying to kind of rush friendship with this here. I could go rest on the walls. Well, I could rest on the walls next week. You know what? Let's go do the administrator. Assist the governor. The mood is somber as Mars calls the secret Fun Time Club meeting to order. Eminette won't be joining us today, she announces, or probably ever again. She told me she's too busy with training and stuff, and she didn't want to do any more sneaking around. She sniffs dismissively. It's okay. She was kind of square anyways, but we need someone to replace her. Some of the Helio kids are pretty cool, she says. They like clubs and stuff, right? We should talk to them and see if they want to join the SFC. Mars stops and holds up a finger. Oh, and it's just a SFC now. The Secret Fun Time Club was okay when we were little, but we're practically adults now. What about the new governor, Lum? Tang asked. I know he's technically adult, but he's fairly young. It would be beneficial to have someone with some actual clout on our side. Mars gives Tang a withering look. We already have someone important in the club, Tang, but thank you for your contribution. She crosses her arms and thanks. I mean, Lum's alright, kind of dumb, but like, you don't have to be smart to be high, you know? I can't believe we just let him be in charge. I'm listed in on some of his council meetings, and they are total chaos. It's like he has no idea what he's doing. That's kind of mean, Mars, Jamie says. I'm sure he's trying his best. We should invite him over for snacks and tea and see if he needs help learning how to fit in. And, should we be trying to have fun, not getting involved in politics? Well, I can't recommend anybody. Oh, on that note, who would you approach to join the club? I can't recommend anybody. Uh, Nami and Rex would probably be great, not Vance. Every meeting would be a fist fight if Vance joined, with Cal probably. So nobody, you haven't really checked with any of the Helios kids. Oh, you haven't really clicked with any of the Helios kids, and you know better than to suggest an adult. Cards with gems are wild. Guess how many cards with gems I ended up getting? Um, for thought he was wild. You know, these do I have just one? Hey, one more. There we go. For the win. 1 star. You're just putting your boots on to grab dinner in lounge when you hear the calling siren begin to wail. It's the early attack. They couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defenses begin to mobilize. Your holopalm chimes with an unusual reminder for all citizen colonists to stay indoors. Join the colony defense or shelter in your quarters. Let's join the defense. You head to the garrison and grab a plasma rifle. Heroic. Then report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with Eminent and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the wall is more Xenos than you've seen in one place ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping towards the colony with a single-minded determination. The air fills with the pew-pew of laser turrets and the crackle of plasma rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos, just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies, wave after wave, crawling over the corpses until they roll at the base of the walls like the foam on a wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. 8 stress. Well, that finishes my stress. There is no sun to set and glow, but night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your plasma rifle. Finally, you're relieved by a second guard shift. You walk straight into the garrison and right into a dreamless sleep. You awaken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot bleep tea, which you grab, then make your way back to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your holopalm lights up with a priority message. Security personnel, we are under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on, 6 off. So long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days, weeks even. Weeks? Everyone exchanges looks. He pauses, then adds, "We can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere." You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the walls with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. Aminette is particular in suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes putting double or triple on the wall. You catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. A minute later, she jolts awake and as someone's spoon clatters against their bowl. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift watching the Xenos batter themselves against the walls. You feel your eyes unfocused at the sheer, formless horde of them. In all these days, they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, ebbing backwards and reforming somewhere else. It's behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters break from the tree line. Nothing new except for one of them. One of the Xenos looks different from the others, almost humanoid. What is that thing? The creature looks suspiciously like a person, at least from the waist down. Down below, it's a lumbering chimera, vaguely reminiscent of a faceless, wrapped in tattered bits of flesh and bony protrusions. Something like hair flutters behind it as it turns and looks right at you with an unnerving, malevolent intelligence. You rub your eyes. Yep, it's still there. It approaches to the base of the wall, and the other monsters surge forward on to pound against the gates. So I can use other life knowledge. I can shoot at it. That's probably a bad idea. Try to talk to it. +1 colony defense. You remember its name. Their name. A gardener. Part of the ancient alien defense system. One that doesn't know when to stop. They look at you in surprise and seem as if they're going to approach the wall and say something. Then Aminette puts a bullet through their chest. Noctilucent reels and falls back into the crowd of monsters. What the HE double hockey sticks was that? Aminette demands, then covers her eyes with her hand. Never mind. I don't even want to know. This siege better end soon. I'm starting to see stuff. Badly, I swear that thing had a face. Noctilucent's disdain. 10. -5 if to non-neighbors. Okay, the tooltip there is better. -5 to adjacent cards that are not physical. Oh, to non... It's got the red symbol there. Neighbors. Finally, after 6 days of the siege, you look down the sights of your plasma rifle and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. As you get it with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Loom. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertoma. You're welcome, humanity. What did you do? You're welcome, you hear. And see Chief Rat nearby looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out here like an idiot with his honor guard, defend strategically unsound positions, put himself in danger, so we had to save his overstuffed butt. The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually need him, Brett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square dispersed quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing xenocorpses for their component molecules. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plasma rifle fire arching overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it in your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat. Your heart pounding, you don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Glow has ended. We are now at age 18. This is where we're going to end it for today. Thank you for joining me for Nathan Plays Badly. Nathan Streams Badly. I was a teenage Xenocolonist. We stream on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8:30. And then the vlogs go up on YouTube a week later on Wednesdays. I also stream on Friday nights from 9:30 to whenever, and the vlogs for that go up a week later on YouTube on Saturday. Also check out my YouTube playthrough of Stardew Valley 1.6, which goes up on the channel on Monday. We've got 2 years left, and we seem to be averaging about half a year a stream. So there's 4 of this lifetime left. I have not yet decided whether or not we are going to continue on into another lifetime, or if maybe I'm going to stop and finish Final Fantasy IX and then come back to this with some better knowledge and maybe play a perfect-ish lifetime. We'll see about that. So that's a month away. So, if you want to get in touch with me on social media, my ex is at Nathanplaysbadly, and Nathanplaysbadly on Facebook, Discord, YouTube, and here on Twitch. Also, we've got a Discord server. If you want to get on that, just send me a friend request on Discord, and then I'll send you a invitation. Thank you, and goodbye. Hey, it's Nathan Plays Badly here. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you didn't like this video, and you want to leave a constructive comment about what you think might make this video better, I'd also appreciate that. Also, you might see my picture down here. Click on that and subscribe. That would be great too. Thank you and goodbye.